The United Nations is a foil. It's a ploy, a ruse. Since before it was written, Islam has sought new and devious ways to send the third world to come fuck our shit up. When they do this, it's called the Reich. Christianity eventually runs out of options for these cowards and homos and fucking retards. Excuses for them to stay in charge. They're just so desperate. Any option, any way to keep the fucking retard peasants off the street. They're dangerous. They get some cockamamie idea in their jingle head and run with it. Religion is the search for universal and eternal truth. Socrates had religion. He told the whole Greek Senate they could all go to hell. And people are like, well, Socrates had mental problems. The Greek Senate said the earth was flat. Just yet another example of the degree, the caliber, the cowards, homos, and fucking retards we call our leaders these days. I'm talking about the ancient Greeks. Now, calm your tits. It's a zombie apocalypse. The mass media, which has been leading us by the hand into war after futile war for the past 50 years, just fired Tucker Carlson. Have you ever seen a more gleaming character reference? The Hippocratic Oath was abandoned after Vietnam. We probably weren't using it all that great anyway. First, do no harm, or you can never win. I know what the people who said, make love not war, legalized recreational abortion, and then called 18-year-old baby killers my vaginas. But it turns out Hippocratic Oath does not comprehensively preclude surgical abortion. Oh, it's barbaric. It's terrible. Tell you what, catch anybody trying to turn it into a sideshow, turn them into a sideshow. Some people think life begins at contraception. The same people probably think life, like every single sperm deserves to grow up and vote. The Jews, technically, life begins with the first breath. They can't breathe on their own. They weren't going to make it. Psychology, various schools of thought, of course. But, I mean, if the eyes aren't open, personally, I don't think you need abortions. When contraception was banned, it was an iron diaper with a hole in it so you could poop, called sepsis and tetanus. Peasants get carried away with the ideas. Imagine a medieval priest with the Black Plague and the Muslims and the Crusades and the Normans trying to make sure nobody wasted any sperm. People are all out of your fucking minds. Chastity belts, weren't just to suppress the youthful urges of princes and nobles. It was largely to keep your kids from getting raped by a Viking. The thing might kill you with an infection. Stupid peasants think because nobility wore it, it's a status symbol. Would that I could afford to protect my children from getting raped by a Viking. Well, the Vikings don't want to rape your stupid peasant kids. Your kids don't matter. Jesus Christ was an ancient Jew. The ancient Jews, maybe with the exception of Jesus, don't care if any of you peasants reproduce. Look at ancient Greece, Egypt. Just as soon you didn't. So these idiot doctors have all these chemicals and stuff that can induce a miscarriage. And they've had things that can do that since before written history. You could buy what they called unguents from any crone. Oh, Daddy, I got raped by a Viking. Oh, we're going to see the village witch. The Greeks prohibited it because you were just as likely to die from the medicine as the fetus, whether it was prescribed by a doctor or not. They didn't need that kind of negative press. why bother? They're not going to take over the entire world and make sure nobody does it. They existed within a very practical realm of practical reality. They were trying to figure out, between all the superstitious cults, and, you know, it didn't start flat Earth, what is always true? What sets us apart from the animals and the barbarians? Why do we deserve to rule this place? Now there's a reason. If your neighbor, some marauders, loot and pillage your neighbor's manor, we should be concerned about this because he was one of us. First, do no harm is the basis for all rational governance. Nobility itself is derived from the ancient Greek Senate. Mongolian sumo wrestlers still fight in the same type of sand pits that Hercules and Achilles would have wrestled in. It wasn't limited to the Aegean Sea. If your estate went bankrupt, it settled the account. You and your kids would be rowing a galley. Your wife would belong to somebody else. They did a lot of exploring. The Nords, the Jarls, would say, come back with loot or don't come back. You don't want to do it, you're a coward. Now you got to do it without a boat. This is the secret of Atlantis. All of this is Greece. There's no aspect of classical diplomacy which the Catholic Church would not, with adequate preparation, be capable of facilitating. Just don't cheat at the Olympics. And first, do no harm, or you are trespassing upon our forum. Idiots in space, space, space.